Full time at the Academy Stadium, and it finished Manchester City 3, Liverpool 2. That brings them 3 points closer to sealing the Premier League 2 crown, which has eluded them so far. Great result from the boys, and here to get into that is Nedum, Onuoha, Max George and Joleon Lescott. Nedum, I mean, the second half, I don't think it was quite as high energy as the first half, but the boys got the job done.
No, it wasn't. But one thing which we found come the end of the game, when they scored that third goal, you saw what it meant to them. You know, there was a big celebration because it was a big moment. I don't think they were at their best in the second half, but they rallied together and they found a way to win a game. And that is one of those skills which, in the long term, is going to be a big asset, because yes, we can say we want to work on formations and so on and so forth, and that does have a value, but if players don't have that desire to actually go out and win games, then I think ultimately we'll struggle. But showed good positivity today. The half started at 2-1, and of course I think after around 15 minutes it was at 2-2. For the goal, it just kind of an unfortunate mistake, Joleon.
Yeah, a poor decision from Claudio. Obviously tried to turn back out and keep the ball that way. But again, you learn from these things, and the best way to learn is when you still get the points needed. But as I said, it was a strange decision to turn back out and try and go back out that way. But it's an opportunity for Liverpool, and they capitalised on it.
And then as the game kind of developed, we were pushing for that second goal. And it felt a little bit very similar to watching City. The last 10-15 minutes really started pressing and came out with a lovely goal, Max.
Yeah, I thought all three goals were brilliant, but the way he's plucked that out of the air, I mean his foot must be about 7 foot when he's got that down. I mean, well over my head anyway.
Can he pull his hamstring?
No, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Liam didn't get his goals. I mean, he must have. If he did hear me, I don't think he'll want me around here again. But I thought, in the end, I thought we deserved it, and there was a lot of quality out there. It's obvious, and nearly there now.
Very nearly there, and I mean, you might have heard there on the commentary, but currently Blackburn, who are in second place in the Premier League 2, are currently losing, so if it stays that way, we'll be 8 points clear with 4 games to go. For them, you know, of course, there are a lot of players here that have won the FA Youth Cup, but I guess it's different when you're kind of having to sustain it during a season and you come out on top. Is it a different feeling, that, Nedum, do you think it'll be for them?
I think, in my personal opinion, the FA Youth Cup is the pinnacle when you talk about youth football, because it's something which I think for years people remember, like Joleon mentions, seeing Joe Cole doing it for West Ham and stuff back in the day, and I've seen some teams, Aston Villa teams, Middlesbrough teams, City teams, Chelsea teams in the past who've done it, and you recognise the players within that side. And obviously I don't think this is necessarily that, but the fact of the matter is you've gone through a whole season and you're top of the tree. So every time you step out on the field, you know that you're the best in that group, and you've earned the right to be there. So even though you don't necessarily have the same sort of prestige, in my opinion, as the Youth Cup, the fact of the matter is, every league you enter, you should be striving to win anyway.
Yeah.
And the players, they go out on the field and they try and do that. They see City at the top of the table, and for these guys, I think they'll be disappointed if they're not at the top of the table. So the fact is, they're proving week in, week out that they're capable of achieving success, and as I say, they're proving it to each other every single week.
And of those setting those standards, Joleon, who do you attribute that to then? Do you attribute that to the players themselves, the coaches, the magnificent facilities? What is it that dictates?
I think it's everything. Yeah. Again, there's never one defining factor to any kind of success. So you've got to, everyone contributes, and you've got to give everyone the plaudits they deserve, but that leads to players that execute. You know what I mean? You can be told and be given the facilities, but you've got to go out there and Nedum said, have the desire to execute what's required to get the points and do the job.
We were highlighting a few players in focus before the game, of course, ones that we'd see in the Manchester City first team. But Max, for you watching, was there anyone else that jumped out at you, or was it kind of, you know, the players that we spoke about? Do you think?
Yeah, to be honest, I thought Liam Delap looked. He looked really dangerous, and I did speak about it before. He's got a little bit of a fiery side, and we did see no VAR in this, which if there was, he was going. But
he's going straight
one of them. But it's all right. I don't mind that. Just he's got to watch that when he gets in the first team. But yeah, I was impressed with all of them tonight, to be fair.
And what about for yourself, Nedum? Did any of the other players kind of catch your eye out?
To be honest, I was more so looking at just the way the team plays and the structure behind it, and I loved it. You know, it felt very similar to watching City. I think overall they control games very well, but they still have that little bit of magic in and around the field as well. So you know, for me, that's the first time seeing like a Tommy Doyle in person after having started watching him from a distance from a few years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I was impressed, but it was just the general flow of the team and the magic and stuff that they have. You know, I think Nmecha scored the goal at the end. You know, that's a great touch. As Max was saying, that's 7 foot foot in the air.
Yeah.
If I do that now, you won't see me for 6 months. You know what I mean? So stuff like that, and Cole Palmer as well. I'd say overall, just the performance from all the guys in there, it was good to see. They all have composure, they all have a desire to win, and you see that they enjoy playing with each other. So instead of like sort of isolating individuals, I just say as a collective, I think they're very fun to watch, and that's why that 30-day free subscription was very much worthwhile.
Well, you mean if you ever needed telling,
plug.
there it is right there. Thank you, Nedum.
Hey, listen, that's free. 30 days is free.
They've just said as well, Cal, you're done actually, Nedum's taken over from here on out. But Joleon, for these young players now, I mean, a lot of them FA Youth Cup winners, fingers crossed, touch wood, they carry on in this vein, Premier League 2 winners. I'm guessing they'll be here for a bit, but what is their next ambitions, and where will they be going from here, and what are they looking for, do you think?
Just progression. I think that's the realistic aim, is just to continue to do well and beat teams. This year I don't think there's been a Champions League, which is a massive competition for the club and in Europe as well, so I think arguably as big as the FA Youth Cup. So that'll probably be an aim for a lot of these players, because they're still eligible to play in that next season. But as I said, it's just progression. When you haven't reached the destination you want to, you just have to look to strive and do better and do well every day, and then once you do get there, you realise what it's took to get there, and you continue to do it. So I'm sure they all have aspirations of reaching the first team, and hopefully that's the case.
And final question on that, having both kind of, and you coming through the academy, Max, as well, but both of you know in football, have you seen enough there to say that there are players within that team that have the ability to make it in Manchester City's first team?
Yeah, without question. But as we said earlier in the show, you do need good fortune as well. There's some players in there who maybe could get into the first team and they could reach a whole new level, but there needs to be the opportunity. And obviously right now you look at Man City's team, and from 1 through to about 17, 18, the talent's at the very, very highest level. But I think the moment will come, because we're seeing some of these players now, we're talking about Tommy Doles and so on, they're involved in squads, they're going to those Champions League games, they're getting a taste for it. So in my opinion, when the time comes, I think they'll be prepared, because it won't be a shock to them, and that's ultimately the whole point of being in the academy.
Really, really is. Let's just turn our attention to, of course, tomorrow, where we're going to see Manchester City take on Leeds in the Premier League, and then we've got that second leg tie to contest with against Borussia Dortmund next week. Max, I mean, first of all, how much have you enjoyed the season so far with Manchester City, and what are you looking for as we approach this back end of the season?
Yeah, I've loved this season. I think the football we played at times, the run that we went on, and I feel like we're on that run again. I think we've got an amazing chance this season to do all four, and I think we will. I genuinely, I do think we'll do it.
I love that.
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah,
I genuinely
I'm with
do.
you.
And I've said that every year for 10 years.
Hey, I have as well.
But I genuinely do. Yeah, I've loved it, and big game next week. It's going to be tight. I think Nedum said before that the other night showed how serious the sort of last four is. Anyone you play against now in the Champions League is going to be a serious side, and I think we get through that. I think we're going to do it.
Lovely stuff. Well, listen, We're Not Really Here is going to be with you every step of the way. So come join us tomorrow, an hour before kick-off. We'll be bringing you all the updates and team news. It's the only place you can get the team news first, is We're Not Really Here. So we'll be with you for Leeds, and then, of course, we'll be back with you. I think I'm back with you for the Dortmund game, our second leg. So please do come join us. And remember, if you want to go and watch these boys, fingers crossed, carry on the way they are going and win that Premier League 2 crown, well, City Plus is the place to do it. You can subscribe, as Nedum said. I mean, if you're going to ignore Nedum, I've been shoved over by Nedum, and let me tell you, it's not nice. But that is a little bit of you, so go check out. It's very simple to subscribe. Get that 30-day free trial as well. You can see the boys hopefully win the Premier League 2 and enjoy all the other City content on there as well. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Massive thank you to my guests, Nedum Onuoha, Max George and Joleon Lescott. Enjoy the weekend, and fingers crossed it'll be another 3 points closer for Manchester City as well, as they take on Leeds tomorrow at 12:30. See you later.